Hi there, Davey Cretin here for Cretin Classics. I am here to review the brand new album by prog rock veterans, American mainly, prog rock veterans Spock's Beard, with their brand new album, The Archaeoptimist. I have the hype sticker. I put it on the cover. Beautiful blue disc. There it is. Straighten it out. Get to look at the lovely artwork. I have the booklet out right here. The lyric booklet, no photos of the band to show, but this is the 14th studio album by Spock's Beard. I own all of them. I did, a couple of months ago, a video on the first single from the album, Invisible. So check that out. I show a bunch of my Spock's Beard CD collection in that one. Got some notes to talk about all the songs. You got 6 songs here. The band, of course, Spock's Beard nowadays, with a new member. You have Alan Morse on guitar and vocals, all kinds of guitar, acoustic, electric. Dave Meros on bass, a little bit of keyboards, backing vocals. Ryo Akamoto on keyboards, a little bit of backing vocals. And he produced the record. This is basically Ryo's brainchild. Ted Leonard on vocals, bit of guitars here and there, some keyboards here and there, and brand new boy Nick Potter's on drums and vocals. This guy could sing, and this guy could really play the drums. You hear him throughout the record, and I must congratulate, besides Ryo producing the whole record, of course, the infamous, the famous Rich Mauser. He has mixed and mastered the record. So the record sounds great. You hear all the instruments and you really hear Dave's bass on this record. It's one of the many things I love about this brand new record. So it comes out, this video will be up right before, a few days before this, comes out Friday, November 21st, which of course is my birthday. And I wore a Spock's Beard shirt in honor of taping this video on their brand new studio album, The Archaeoptimist. So you've got 6 songs here. Now, besides the 5 band members I mentioned, there is a gentleman by the name of Michael Whiteman, and he has his own prog band called I Am the Manic Whale. Fascinating name for a band. He co-wrote a lot of this album with Ryo. And what Ryo did was he went to each of the band members' studios and recorded them all and put it together. Like I said, it's his brainchild. It's been 7.5 years since the last Spock's Beard studio record. These guys are all busy with other gigs. They might have jobs on the side. So Ryo, he got the gumption, he did it, and he got this brand new Spock's Beard record together. The last record was in, 2018? Noise Floor? It's a long time ago. So we have Ryo to thank. 7.5 years later, boom, we get The Archaeoptimist. And this is some prog album. This is prog within and without. I want to thank my friends at Madfish Records over in the UK who sent me this advance copy. This is Spock's Beard's first album on Madfish Records. Letting everyone read the hype sticker here. So I'm not going to start at track 1. I'm starting at track 2 because I already did a video on the single Invisible. It's the second shortest song on the record. Invisible comes in at 6.5 minutes. So I'm going to put a link eventually, probably tomorrow, to that video so you can check it out. Just look on the channel here. Starting off with track 2 called Electric Monk. Before I do that, I forgot to mention that besides the CD that's coming out, this digipack I have with the 12-page lyric book, it's also available, probably limited edition, 2LP red vinyl gatefold and a 2LP black vinyl gatefold. There's also a CD DVD version in 5.1 with a high-res 24/48 stereo mixes, digipack, and an 8-page lyric book. So those are the formats it's on: CD, vinyl, Probably be on streaming this Friday, November 21st. That's the official release date of the Archaeoptimist. It's a bit of a mouthful. And title track, wow, wait till we get to that one. But getting back to Electric Monks here, 6 minutes and 16 seconds. The music is by Rio and Michael from I Am the Manic Whale. The lyrics here, Alan Morse and Michael. It starts off with this descending type melody where each instrumentalist shines right from the start, and you get that classic Spock's Beard vibe here on track 2, Electric Monk. Dave and Nick really stand out to me as the rhythm section propels the song along. Stately guitar solo by Alan ups the ante with some nice piano plinking from Rio. A lot of piano on this record. Melodic middle 8 section enters halfway through with elegant vocals from Ted. Another short guitar solo from Alan, and then it's back to the mellow, majestic middle 8 until Alan returns with a triumphant Heroes theme type guitar solo. Now the music throughout matches the quest of the hero on this song. And I love how Dave's Rickenbacker bass just jumps out in the mix to me as compared to some Dream Theater records. Now, I am a big Dream Theater fan, and I have made comments before that sometimes the bass is buried on a lot of Dream Theater albums, but not so with Spock's Beard, especially on this new record. Dave Meros's bass just pops right through. So a lot of times, the bass caught my ear, and so did new boy Nick Potter's drum work. Excellent drummer. He has a lot to this band. Where was I in my notes here? Song is good in the number 2 position on the album, so that's Electric Monk, a little over 6 minutes. Moving on to track 3, here we have Thoughts Part 4, but it's actually titled, that's the subtitle, is Thoughts Part 4. Afourthoughts. A-F-O-U-R Thoughts, Afourthoughts. 7.5 minutes long, music by Rio and Michael, and the lyrics by Michael here. Now you get those unusual Rio Akamoto keyboard sounds right at the start, and you know, oh, this is another part in the Thoughts song series, because right away it catches your ear, that those keyboard sounds, so you know you're in the Thoughts series of songs. Rio and Alan both really go off on their instruments at the beginning before the main melody line enters. You get some crazy guitar work from Alan, some kooky keyboard work from Rio. It's really good. You get these catchy, swaying verses, carry us into the chorus with a lot of excellent drum work here from new boy Nick. Then you get a very elongated section. The great gentle giant vocal rounds come in. And this section does not fail to disappoint, with each vocalist shining through here. Then Rio has some sweet solo spots on the organ and the piano. Like I said, great piano playing by Rio throughout. Alan then comes to the fore on electric guitar before Rio re-enters on synths. The whole song ends with Ted's plaintive vocals, a cappella, no music behind him, before the band joins in also on some harmony vocals. This is another tour de force in the Thoughts series of songs, and it's not to be missed. Great song, Afourthoughts. A little bit of a mouthful to say. Speaking of mouthful, maybe I need a little drink here for a second. Okay, track 4 could have some religious overtones and connotations. Saint Jerome in the Wilderness. Here you get 8 minutes and 46 seconds of Prague. Music by Rio and Michael. Lyrics by Michael and Ted. To me, it starts off, there's a flashback, there's a callback. And I've been listening to this for a couple of weeks in my car going to and from work. And I said, you know what? This reminds me of an older Spock's Beard song. It has this crashing instrumentation at the beginning, and it reminds me of Walking in the Wind. And as I was working on my notes, I stopped and I played a bit of Walking on the Wind, going back to the second Spock's Beard album, Beware of Darkness, in the old Neil Morse era. And yes, this does recall that. It's not an exact copy, it's just reminiscent of it. And it just brings you back to a great time in the band. Not that this is a bad time in the band at all, because I really like this new album. It's different enough that it stands on its own. It's just reminiscent of the old song Walking on the Wind from the Beware of Darkness album. Once again, Dave's bass is super present and prominent in the mix. Thank you, Rich, for that. I appreciate it. Very catchy chorus here. And Alan has some of those Morsean guitar riffs and squeals where you know the way he plays with his fingers and without a pick. Only Alan Morse has that guitar sound, that tone. Then almost halfway through the song, you get this very pastoral section. Begins with superb piano work from Rio. Nick hangs back a little on the drums, using them more as percussion instrument to add some touches and splashes here and there. And then the band kicks back in. Alan then bursts into an almost angry, snarling electric guitar solo with his distinctive strutting guitar work. Rio's organ work then takes over into a new part, and Tia, my better half, who does a lot of production work on my videos, said, you know what, this sounds a little, the way he's playing that organ, sounds a little like Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. And that hadn't dawned on me, even though I've played the record over a dozen times, well, the CD, in my car. So kudos to Tia for pointing out that nice little Jethro Tull connection going back to 1972, Thick as a Brick. I really don't mind if you sit this one out. At any rate, getting back to Spock's Beard here, Rio then switches over to some spacey synth sounds as the pace quickens in the song. Chorus comes back around again with some nice harmony vocals that I forgot to mention earlier. Every time the chorus hits in St. Jerome in the Wilderness, there's some nice backing vocals, harmony vocals in the chorus. Rio ends the song with some elegant and stately piano work. And although this is probably my least favorite song so far out of the first 4 songs, it's not a bad song at all. It's still really good. It just, maybe it didn't hit me as much as the first 3 songs, but it's definitely worth a listen. Here we go, track 5. We are moving on to the title track, and that is the Archaeoptimist. This is a 21-minute song. Music is by Michael and Rio, and the lyrics are by Ted. And if you look at the lyric book, it gives you context. It says context for the song, to explain what the song is about. I'm not going to go into a whole long explanation, but Ted came up with a really cool tale here. You'll hear it for yourself. You got to check it out. It's a really good song. It's about a father and daughter, and certain parts of the song comes from the father's perspective, and other parts of the song come from the daughter's perspective. And I'll let you know right now that she is the Archaeoptimist here. Now, it's divided into 7 sections, and the first bunch of sections are a lot longer than the last few sections. Section 1 is called The Fates Have Spoken. Section 2, The Adventurous Child. 3, The Child Has Grown. 4, The Leader. 5, Voice of Reason. 6, The Successor. And 7, The Acceptance Speech. Excerpt only. Is there a book or a movie coming? Perhaps in this 21-minute song. Starts off with some guitar and organ histrionics. It's a bit chaotic as the title track begins in the progressive rock style before the main melody takes hold. Alan's in the lead with some sterling lead guitar work here. And then Rio's piano playing is on fire throughout this song. Rio's synth part leads into part 2, and Dave is thumping away on his Rickenbacker. Then Rio comes back in with some funky synth sounds here in this extended instrumental section before the lyrics come. Then Ted's vocals come in, And it's back to a slightly funky rhythmic backing here. So you get some different sounds for Spock's beard, a little bit of funk that I could sense here and I could tell. And I dig this section a lot, section 2, The Adventurous Child. Nice Alan Morse guitar solo into a Rio organ solo. You get some more Ted vocals, then Alan's guitar takes over and brings us into a different melody for part 3. The Child Has Grown. It's a bit of a more laid-back groove with some cool keyboards from Rio, pulsating bass from Dave Meros. He's on fire on this record. Nick has some dynamic drumming in this part 3. And then when the chorus, and I put that in quotes because it's sort of the chorus of the song, comes around, Dave has some serious bass playing going on. And this is right before the 14-minute mark of the song. So these 3 sections take up the first 14 minutes, 2/3 of the 21-minute epic here. Then an almost metallic guitar riff comes in as Rio returns to the organ, and we're into part 4, which is called The Leader. Ted and Dave lead the way here from the heavy to the more mellow vocal section. Then a Rio synth solo takes us into section 5, which is The Voice of Reason. Get very melodic. This is the whole part. Part 5 is very melodic. Great piano plinking from Rio. Pumping bass from Dave. You're into part 6. So like I said, these last few sections come faster and they're sort of spaced closer together. It's like the first half of the song is spread out, and then the last few parts come in faster bursts. Part 6, which is called The Successor, you get a Heroes theme section. And this is the soaring section of a song, and you get that spiraling Alan Morse guitar solo, which is great here. And it concludes into part 7. It's a brief vocal passage, and you get that triumphant, climactic Spock's beard ending. And only Spock's beard sound like Spock's beard. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, some modern production, music from their own minds, and you get this classic, epic Spock's beard song. This is a great epic, 21 minutes, the centerpiece of the album, well worth hearing and well worth your time. Now, the last song, 11-minute song, is called Next Step. This is the last song on the record. Music by Rio and Michael, and lyrics by Michael. Rio's piano begins this song, and it's a couple of minutes long. So it's this, the way I see it, the way they set up this album, this is sort of a slight reprieve after the epic 21-minute song. The full band kicks in after a few minutes of Rio's excellent piano work. And Alan takes over on lead guitar with some kick-ass riffing here I wrote down. Ted's vocals enter and the main melody begins. Once again, Dave's bass really catches my ear, as does Nick's propulsive playing on the skins. Powerful chorus on this song. And then some outstanding acoustic guitar work, and this might be Michael Whiteman because he also plays acoustic guitar on the record. He helps out. Get some tasty keyboards from Rio. Get melodic vocals from Ted here. You get this sterling call and response section on the vocals as well. And it's a bit sing-songy, but it's never twee to me. Rio's synth solo ups the ante, along with Dave's bass. And then at about the 7-minute mark, we get this very Genesis-sounding section. Reminds me a little bit of In the Cage. It's just a slight recall. I would say a slight maybe tip of the hat. I thought I had my hat here. I do. A slight tip of the hat maybe to Genesis. Sounds a bit like In the Cage. They're paying homage to the Godfathers of Prague, perhaps, or one of the Godfathers. In Genesis, you get that little Tull callback that Tia caught earlier. Where was I in my notes here? Alan then slays on a stellar 6-string guitar solo. Nick and Dave chug along with Rio, and they all bring back the pretty melody part. leading into the final part of the song. And that chorus comes back in as the song climaxes into the realm that only Spock's beard inhabit. So this is a great song to end the album. You get 6 songs, you get a bit of variety, but you get great playing from each member on the song. Now, there is something I forgot to mention. I just want to read off some of the keyboards that Rio plays on the album. He plays a Hammond C3 and a Leslie 122 RV. He plays a Hohner clavinet D6, Rhodes Mark V, plays Roland keyboards, a Jupiter 8. Also, Mini Moog he borrowed from his friend, as well as an ARP and ARP Pro soloist. So he's all over, he's changing his sounds. But I really like his piano work. I think that's what stands out on the record. And his songwriting, along with Michael. They wrote some great songs here. So thanks to Rio for spearheading this whole record along. And it's a really good record. The more I play it, the more I like it. Spock's Beard, the Archaeoptimist. Well worth your time in the realm of progressive rock. So thanks again to my friends at Mad Fish Records for sending this along. I highly recommend this. There you go. You get the credits, you see the 6 songs, you see Mad Fish Records. And I hope this record does really well for the band. It is well worth your time. Will it make my top 10 list at the end of the year? Top 5, top 10 list, whatever I do. You'll have to tune into Cretan Classics to find out. I want everyone to rock out, prog on, and pogo. It's my mantra and my logo at the end of almost all my videos. Thanks again, Davey Cretan, for Cretan Classics. I will have more content coming up. My next video on the channel will be my review of Led Zeppelin's live EP that came out recently. So look for that coming up on Cretan Classics. Want everyone to like, subscribe, comment below. What do you think of Spock's Beard? What do you think of the new single? Have you heard the new record yet? Maybe you haven't because it hasn't come out yet. But by the time you watch this, maybe it will be out. Street date, November 21st, 2025. And that is Spock's Beard, the Archaeoptimist. Thanks again. Take care, everyone. And I will see you in future videos. Davey Cretan, Cretan Classics, over and out.